Hi everyone, Nicole Spohr here today with some Halloween slimline cards featuring texture backgrounds. All of my dies are from Says Stamp STAMPtember 2020 release, and so are the awesome stencil backgrounds. We're going to be creating the super popular slimline style cards today. Simon just released their own slimline dies, which make creating all kinds of fantastic layers and borders and all kinds of things so super easy. So we're going to do three quick and easy Halloween cards. We're going to start with the Just Batty stencil. This is also the Scallop Slimline set, the little inside rectangle piece. I'm going to keep both the outer scallop, we're going to use that, and the inside piece. The inside piece is what we're going to be using first. I did place some pixie spray on the back of my stencil so it's not going to shift. Now, out of the three stencils I'm using today, this is the only one that is not made for a slimline card, and I'm going to show you how I'm able to make it fit. So you see that I'm doing one side of the design. I am using a stencil pal to help me apply this Nouveau Crackle Mousse. This is in the color Wrought Iron. Now, I did let that completely sit and dry. I put a little more pixie spray on the back. When I came back to this, I cleaned up my stencil, I cleaned up my palette knife, I cleaned up the stencil pal. I did all of that because you want to clean it up right away. I let my background dry. I did something else for probably about 30 minutes. It's not going to take that long to dry, but I did something else for probably about that long. Place the stencil down, and I'm going to finish adding the bats to the background. Now, what I love about this, you can see the ones that are dry over on the right side, they're starting to crackle. Now, unfortunately, my camera went off when I was doing this background. I will tell you very quickly, I inked it with Carved Pumpkin Distress ink, not the oxide, Distress ink, using the bubble wrap stencil. And then I went ahead, while the stencil was still in place, I wiped it clean with a dry rag, and I used Iridescent Glitter Glitz Gel from Gina to make it glittery. Finally, we have our final background. So the bubble wrap stencil that I used for the orange dot, that is a large stencil. It's going to completely fit the front of a card. You could use it on any size of card, but it's going to fit these slimline cards, which I really, really love. Then we're going to take our next stencil, which is called Floating Leaves, and we're going to use the Nouveau Crackle Mousse in Russian White. So this also is going to give a crackle effect, which is really fun. You definitely don't have to use crackle. I had bought some of these crackle mousses. They're new to me, and I really wanted to try them out, and I thought they would look really amazing for Halloween cards, and I love the results. Again, we're going to peel up this. Now, you might not think that the floating leaves necessarily for a Halloween card, but I love the texture that it creates for the background. So definitely going for texture and color with these particular backgrounds today. Once all of my backgrounds are completely dry, and I do want to reiterate that this center rectangle I used for all three of my backgrounds was die cut using a scallop, or the Slimline Scallop dies. Then I'm placing a little 1/8 inch double-sided tape around this to place our scallop border. I did go ahead and stack one on top of another here. So many of my backgrounds, I had die cut two of the scallops. So this is the scallop from this card, but I wanted my frame to be a different color to really draw your eye in. So I die cut it again from black cardstock, and I'm simply just using this leftover frame I had, placing the double-sided tape on this. And then we will pop up the black frame, which with the black or I guess it's not called black, it's called wrought iron, but basically black. With the black crackle mousse bats, I think it just draws your eye in. So for my first card, we're going to go ahead and put it together. I did do my die cutting off camera. We're using the brand new Outline Halloween dies. Everything I used here today is brand new. All of the dies are brand new. The sentiment strips are brand new. I really wanted, and the stencils, I really wanted to just kind of give you a showcase. I'd have had quite a few requests to show the Halloween product, and I definitely will be creating more projects with these, but these are super quick and easy. And one thing I love is doing an inlay with these sentiments like this. And today we're doing an inlay with pattern paper. These two particular patterns are from the My Favorite Things Creepy Confections 6x6 paper pad. This was part of the August My Favorite Things release. Black and white stripe, and then a white background with black text. Looks amazing. Every single card today is going to feature one of these patterns. So I really tried to keep to a black-white color scheme, thrown in a little gray here, and then of course we're going to have an orange glittery background, but I kept it super simple. Look how beautiful that Halloween die cut sentiment looks. Even for scrapbooking, I think that these would be amazing. So next, I'm taking a little dab of glue and placing it in the center of the O on Halloween, and using a little Trinity Stamps black clay heart. Kind of softens the spooky Halloween effect, I suppose. These are very, very happy Halloween cards, not scary. And then we're going to use this cute little bat die cut here. I did, for the contrast back behind the bat, there is a shadow. I did not use the shadow die, and I simply die cut a circle from a scrap piece of white cardstock and placed it back behind the eyes on the bats so that they really show up. We're also using a reverse Halloween sentiment strip popped up with foam adhesive right underneath our die cut greeting. I've done a landscape format for all three of my cards, and on this first card we are using two bats popped up with foam adhesive. So our sentiments are kind of shifted over onto the left side, and our embellishments, our die cuts, are shifted over to the right, filling in all that space. And then of course we have the awesome crackle bat stencil detail in the background. Super quick and easy. The sentiment is Halloween vampires don't suck, which I think is really funny. Let's go on to our next card. This is the one with the orange glitter glitz background. You can create a glitter effect with any color basically with this technique by stenciling and inking the color you want first, and you could even do a whole ombre effect, multiple colors, rainbow color, whatever that might be, and then you can go ahead and apply the iridescent glitter right over that, the paste over it, and it's going to instantly make it glittery. So that's how I achieved this look. This is a fantastic stencil. I could see it used for everything. This one definitely doesn't scream Halloween, even though I used it as such. Again, we're going to stack a couple of those Slimline Scallop frames around our center panel. And I have die cut the spooky sentiment. This is another fantastic large die cut sentiment, twice from black cardstock and once from one of the Creepy Confections pattern paper. We're going to finish with that one, the black with the little white pinstripe in it. And this is going to look fantastic against that orange and white background. Now for this one, I am also going to add 3 different sentiment strips. So it'll read, "Hey boo, spooky spooky salutations, you're the ghost with the most." These sentiment strips really do eliminate quite a bit of time-consuming stamping or stamping and embossing or die cutting. You simply trim them apart. They're pre-printed. You trim them apart and use them on your projects. And I especially love these reverse sentiment strips with the black background and white text. I often will create my own with stamps, so I really, really love this. Now for the embellishment on this card, we are going to use the Ghost in a Circle brand new die. This is awesome if you want to create shakers and things. Because I'm actually using it as an embellishment today, it's only going to die cut that negative space around the ghost. So I actually went to my collection, found an infinity die, and used it with the ghost circle to create the accent. And then I took my infinity die cut a black circle and placed it back behind, which is really going to make the ghost face pop. And then I've added a little orange clay heart here to my ghost. Again, making them friendly ghosts and Halloween cards. And then we're going to pop up our sentiment strips with foam adhesive. Make sure we get everything positioned. If you need to help hold things down, because remember we're working on a textured surface background, I like to use my tweezers to kind of help hold it while that liquid glue is drying. We are ready for our final card. This is probably the most elegant card of the bunch. I mean, we use the floating leaves here, which definitely helps add to that, but I completely kept this to that black-white color combination. So we're going to have our center panel, we're going to have the slate gray frame around the edge, and then we are going to use the large outline spooky to die cut those same My Favorite Things Creepy Confections 6x6 pattern paper and from black cardstock. And the configuration of the die is actually 3 groups of letters, so stacked one on top of another. You can use it like that, or what I really liked, because the letters are nice and big, and I'm using a T-square ruler to help me get my placement and get them lined up perfectly, I'm going to put them in a landscape format instead of that vertical format. And I love the effect of this as well. Again, this is a fantastic sentiment. Maybe if you scrapbook or, you know, do anything like that, this is a big, bold sentiment and would work great. I love that by using this configuration and using a slimline design card, it's going to fit all the way across. And you really don't have to add a whole lot else. I didn't add any Halloween, how about Halloween ghosts or bats or anything that I like that I created for the other cards. In fact, there you can see the die on the left side of the screen that I used. But it really conveys that Halloween message. We added a little sentiment strip. And here is a look at all 3 finished cards. I hope this has given you some ideas and inspiration for creating your own slimline Halloween cards, maybe even with some great textured backgrounds using new products from the Says Stamp STAMPtember 2020 release. The supplies I use to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Says Stamp products that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.